Hey, Sean, thank you for clicking on this. This is the first of a series of videos of creative exercises to help you develop your creativity. I'm a video producer, but these are a variety of skills across a variety of disciplines that no matter what you do, whether you're a video producer or an artist, a graphic designer, a writer, an interior decorator, whatever you do within your art or your profession, these exercises are designed to help you get better at it by maybe shifting how you think and really helping you exercise a little vulnerability, find a little inspiration, and then through iteration, grow and develop your skills and maybe find new ways to approach things and add some perspective to the way you approach your art through some other different challenges. So with all these videos, in the future, I'm going to skip this little intro. And in all these things, there's 8 questions that I want you to ask. And like anything, you get out of this what you put into it. And if you come into this with your arms crossed and like, oh, this is stupid, this isn't going to help me, then it's not going to help you. You can just skip this. But if you want to give it 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I think you can get a lot out of this, as I am getting a lot out of these as I've been recording these. And the questions that I want you to ask yourself in future videos, I'm going to put these at the end, so it'll be sort of a review and we'll get right to the exercise in the beginning of the next videos. But in this first video, I'm putting them up front just so you know what we're going for. So as we do these exercises, there's 8 things to consider. Number 1, as a part of these exercises, there's going to be an element where you have to do a little research, where you have to find some examples to maybe guide what you're doing. You don't always have to do this, especially if you're already pretty comfortable with it, but you should. You should, because through this, you broaden your perspective, your horizons. You maybe get a little bit more vulnerable and humble with your experience and comparing it to other people. But doing a little bit of research is going to go a long way to helping you get better at each one of these things. So that's one lesson to take away, is the research you have to do and the examples you need to find. Number 2, as you do it, notice where you struggle. There's going to be things that are wildly out of your normal day-to-day creativity. These things are designed to push you. And regardless of what you do, there's going to be things here that you don't do. And noticing where you struggle is an important lesson, because that can apply to your normal disciplines or developing these other varied disciplines as well. So take notice of where you struggle and maybe think about why you struggle with that piece in particular. And I'm going to show you my example in a minute of this first one and what I got out of these things. Number 3, where do you thrive? What was easy? What was easier than you expected, especially if it's something you haven't tried before? But these are important. Where do you struggle? Where do you thrive? And why are those 2 things different? And why are they that way in one project and maybe not in another? Number 4, what would you do differently next time if you could do it? Number 5, how does this apply? And this is the big one. How does this apply to your primary discipline? Because there's going to be little lessons here that it might be hard to connect the dots back to what you usually do. And how does this actually help me? But taking a minute to challenge yourself, because I'm not going to be able to tell you every time with your discipline, but how does this exercise affect what you do? How does creating a photo or a drawing or a graphic help you be a better singer? That's not up to me. I may have some ideas in some of these, but really it's up to you to look for patterns and rhythm and collaboration and seeing what elements of this process can apply to your discipline. Number 6, through this, you'll probably gain a little respect for the people who are experts in these particular things. And maybe when you have a big project where you need to tackle a little bit of this, rather than doing it yourself, you'll respect the expertise of some people who do it a lot better than you and with a lot more experience. And you'll also value your own experience in your discipline more, because you know that it's going to be easier for you than it might be for other people. And it'll add a little bit of perspective and humility, hopefully, to your discipline. Number 7, with all of these things, you get bonus points for collaborating. There's ways to do most of these things by yourself. A few of them might require you to work with a partner or a few people. And that exercise of having to bother someone to help you with your project, especially to say, it's just this little creative exercise I found on YouTube, will go a long way. And the confidence you gain by talking to people, the vulnerability you gain by trying something you haven't tried before in front of other people, these are skills that will pay dividends for you in your primary disciplines. And lastly, number 8, how much better would you be at all of this if you didn't feel shame? Because if you're anything like me, as you're attempting these things, there's a level, there's a layer of shame of like, well, I'm not that good at this. I don't want to show this. And you'll see with what I'm about to show you, I don't feel confident in it, but I can say that by trying it, even though I may be ashamed, I'm able to advance myself and open myself up to learning in a way that I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. So That's what we're going to look at for every one of these 12 exercises. And the first one is this. I want you to, just like I did, really try in earnest to make a really good drawing of someone's face, of a human's face. And so going through these 8 things, do some research. Look at sketches that other people have done of faces. Look at photos of faces. And so what I did is I found a picture of Randy Rhoads, who's a guitarist that I really liked. He was a guitarist with Ozzy Osbourne, among others, but a brilliant guitarist. And I found this picture of him, and I tried to sketch it. And it's not fantastic. It's not something I would publish necessarily or share on an Instagram if I had an Instagram. But by doing a little bit of research and seeing how other people approach this discipline of sketching and how I did it, it made me look at things a little bit differently than I usually do. And so going quickly through here, number 2, notice where you struggle. I definitely struggled with proportions and seeing how far up should the eyes be, and like things seemed longer in my drawing than they did in the photo, and figuring out how to approach that. That's where I struggled, where I feel like this looks a little alien. I think the eyes are way too high up on the forehead, but that's where I was struggling. I think where I thrived was because knowing what I wanted to do with this, I was looking at the shading, the shadowing, seeing what parts of the photo I was going off of were really dark, and I was trying to shade those in a little bit and look where the light and maybe the light was coming from, where the shadows are. And I think I did a better job of that because I knew that I was looking for that. So number 4, what would I do differently next time? I don't think I would use a pen. But with all of these things, please don't sit one out because you don't have the right gear. Get a pen and a piece of printer paper or the back of a cereal box, whatever. Make this sketch. Don't say, well, I don't have a charcoal pencil, so it's not going to be good. If you start exercising excuses like that with these challenges, you're just quickly going to not do anything and not grow because it's so easy to not do something. So this is a ballpoint pen that I did this with, and it's fine. I got the lessons out of it. Did I shade it with whatever and watercolor? No, it's a sketch with a pen, and that's what I needed to get something out of this. How does this apply to my primary discipline? Looking at composure of the photo and again of the lighting and seeing sort of the action and the story in this one frame, I could tell what was going on. I could tell he was in the middle of some sort of intense guitar solo by his hand positioning, and he was feeling it. You can see it from the expression on his face, and the hair tells the story of when this photo was taken, as does the outfit and stuff. And so making myself aware of those things makes me better at video production because it gives me some perspective on what to include in a frame to properly tell a story, what is superfluous, what is essential, what are the main points of focus, where do I want to direct someone's eye, because with a sketch, I have the ability to control it completely, whereas in a video, so often I'm limited to where I show up and what things look like. So it gives me that repetition, that iteration on if I don't have any of those limitations of, well, normally I'm approaching a room and I'm limited to what somebody looks like and the 2 lights that I have with me. Instead, if I had anything, how could I tell the story the best? And that's what this exercise is giving me a little bit of perspective on. And then learning respect for other people. Number 6, this is tough to do this, and to do this well is very tough. And to see somebody at the zoo do these sketches of people and these caricatures, that's tough. That's impressive. And only before I tried it did I realize just how hard it is. And it's the same thing when people are like, oh, you're showing up and doing video, you just point your camera at stuff, or like I've been filming stuff with my phone lately. It's tough. It requires experience and expertise. And doing something like this helps me realize that. I didn't collaborate with anyone for this. I could have had a model or partnered with my wife and asked if I could sketch her face, and you are welcome to do things like that. And lastly, how much better would you be if you didn't feel shame? I'm fortunate that I'm sort of obligated to do this to overcome some shame. And I think I'm okay with how things turned out. And as I got started, knowing that it's important for me to do this in spite of it being bad. And I don't know why I'm even telling myself that it's bad, because it's good. It's my first sketch and it kind of looks like something, and I'm proud of myself for doing this, and I learned a lot from it. So that's number 1. The first challenge is to get a piece of paper and some sort of writing utensil and draw a human face, whether it's from a picture or a friend, and go through this process. And again, whether you're a musician or a graphic designer or a writer or an interior decorator or a sculptor, whatever you're doing, challenge yourself to do this, to think a little bit differently, to try something that you're not good at, and put it out there, share it. And I'm not going to collect these and ask for you to send these to me and I'm going to post them or collect them. No, but feel free to share this on your own social media or text it to a couple of friends or colleagues. And I think that little exercise in vulnerability will go a long way in showing yourself that you're committed to trying to get better and trying to develop your sense of exercising your own creativity. That's all I got. That's the first one. More to come. And again, in the next ones, we're going to go through the 8 things afterwards. We'll get right into what the exercise is each time from here on out. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day or night or whatever, wherever. See you later. Bye.